Welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone to another Wednesday night. Fundamentals to Gain Inner Peace with your host, Coach Menachem Bernfeld. And tonight we're going to be discussing returning to calm. How to hold your center. Who doesn't want a little bit of calm? So last week we discussed how to shift our state. And we discussed the shift when you find yourself in reactive mode, reacting, things are not working out, high emotions. You need to regulate some emotions. You feel overwhelmed, angry, or any state, any feeling that you don't want to be in. And that itself, not wanting to be there, just adds to the fire. So we learned how we can actually shift our state. Tonight, we're going to go a little bit deeper and discuss how to stay there for a little bit longer. How to stay there more often, find yourself in that state that you want to be, relaxed state, calm, whatever it is, more present, joy, or any positive emotion that you want to feel. Tell yourself that word. But the question is how to stay there more often or for longer, because we find we go back to our old habits and it takes time. Even if stuff happens, life just happens. But how can we be more in that state that we want to be? So we'll continue that. We'll go over the acronym of shift soon. But again, the idea is it's not never to get thrown off. Obviously, we're human. We have moments, we have ups and downs. We need to accept that too. But we're learning how to, number one, be aware of it. Number two, that we can actually choose. And not everyone is aware of that. You can actually choose. And slowly you see yourself in a different state. And it takes practice, like everything else. Anything you want to start new, you want to play an instrument, the first time you'll play, it's not going to work. You'll try again and again and again. And many people give up. But this is how we learn new things. Whether you're young or old, to learn, we have to do it again and again till slowly it sticks. New pathways. So we'll continue that in a few minutes. But before we start, let's get grounded. Okay. What's going on? Where are you? Take a deep breath. Come into the room. Both feet on the floor. Just become aware of where you are, what your day looked like, where you're coming from. It's okay. Let's give it a few minutes. Space. Nothing needs to change. Just becoming aware. Where are you now? External, where you're sitting, the room you're sitting in. Just become aware. And then we turn inwards. And close your eyes and just become aware of what you're feeling. Just notice. You might feel your full body tense or just one area. Just notice. You can scan your body Up and down, just see the feelings, notice the feelings. And again, nothing needs to change. Just take a deep breath and be in the moment. Okay. And now to get some energy in the room, we can take our hands and just rub it together and just feel. You do it 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. Just feel what you feel. Do slow or fast. Take a deep breath. Just notice the feeling. Okay. Now take a deep breath and let's sit with this feeling for 60 seconds and notice. Ten more seconds. Beautiful. Okay, here we are. So let's first discuss the shift that we discussed last week. So basically, just becoming aware of the feeling that you're in, and that's the S of shift. Just to see it. Become aware of where you are. We discussed last week example of waking up late, the kids, missing the bus, breakfast is it's just hectic. And you have, let's say you have a meeting, you're late, it's just overwhelmed. Just become aware of what's going on in your mind, become aware of that feeling. So that's the S, just to see it. H is to honor it. Say, listen, I feel this way now. Don't judge it. Don't judge the feeling. Many times I shouldn't be feeling this way. I've done so much self-help, self-inner perspective. I've done the work. I should know better. Why do I still feel this way? And we judge. Just take a deep breath and just smile. Say, wow, I see it. With compassion, just honor. That's the H. The I of shift is to imagine the new state, the state that you want to be in. Finding a word that you can use, let's say calm. And then F is form it in your body. Actually start feeling it in your body. Take a deep breath and start feeling calm. Not always easy, but feel it. And then is the T to take action. Usually the action is different. If you're coming from a place of overwhelmed, angry, or upset, or you're coming from a place of calm, of okay, then you'll see the results will be different. Now, I do have to mention that if you're new to this world of emotions, then we don't shift right away. Because obviously we want to feel good. We want to feel the positive emotion. We don't want to feel negative emotion. And part of the work is to actually allow yourself to feel those icky feelings. Hmm. And for those who have been here for a while on Wednesday night calls, they know, already that these feelings, they come up, we create the space, we look at it, you can talk to it, you can discuss, you can have a conversation. It's trying to say something, but we want to feel no matter what it is. There's no positive, negative, it's a feeling. So don't try to change it right away. It's only after you've done the work, allowing the feeling to come up and saying, I feel you, I see you. And wherever you feel it in your body, whatever it feels like, that overwhelmed feeling, then you can take a deep breath and then you can go into a new state and think, what would I want to feel now? A different state, which is beautiful. And just knowing that we can actually make a shift, we have a choice, that's amazing. So you can share in the chat. Let me know if the past week, if it came to mind, the shift concept, just seeing yourself in a state that you might not want to be in and being aware of it and thinking, wait a second, what do I want to feel? It came to mind, didn't try it yet. Very good. That's step number one. Okay. The problem is that this observing acknowledgement, especially in the early morning, prevents me from getting up from bed, from waking positivity. Okay, so if that's the case, don't do it in the morning. And your job is to wake up with positivity. Write down two or three things you're positive, you feel good about in the morning. So then you can change the way of thinking in the morning. That's amazing. And many of you would like to try it. Beautiful. Okay. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to work right away. First, the awareness. And even if it does work, you might find yourself in that overwhelmed feeling 5 minutes later. And you might say, it's just not working. That's okay. We come back to that positive feeling. Falling out is normal. The goal is not perfection, it's awareness, and you come back. Being aware that you're out of alignment, you're all over the place. Take a deep breath and come back to that feeling that you want to feel. Tonight after work, I felt overwhelmed. After a few minutes, I was able to shift. Beautiful. And at night, when I'm trying to sleep, it's harder to shift, but I do have awareness often. Amazing. Don't try. You might not want to do it right before you go to sleep. That's okay. But it actually worked. Beautiful. Beautiful. Changed your mornings. Okay. Amazing. So the question is, yes, thank you very much. It's a nice concept and I tried it, but I find myself back in that emotion that I don't want to be in. It doesn't last. It just lasts for a few minutes and then I'm right back to that negative emotion or that overwhelmed emotion, angry emotion, whatever it is. Or the next day I feel that emotion. Many people, when they have this and this question comes up and they have this thought and this feeling, basically their mind takes them to, oh, well, I guess it didn't work for me. And they don't try again. And if you think about it, you expect it to work in one day. That's like, wow. After all the years of having one way of thinking, how do you expect just by practicing once to change the pattern? It's a new skill. It's out of your comfort zone. It's not your emotional home, like we discussed. We all have an emotional home. When things happen, it takes us to a place which we're used to we're aware of it, and we go right into that emotion. And what we're trying to do is be aware of that and ask yourself, maybe I can take it to a different place. Maybe I can still feel centered. I can still feel grounded. I can still feel calm, even though this happened. And it's not going to last, but the idea is to start. Once you start, that's how we change. The neuroplasticity, the new patterns in our mind. Basically, you want to go from a place where you're used to a new place. And for that, you have to be awake, aware, and practicing. So that's important. If you find yourself, doing it once or twice and then saying, it doesn't really work, I find myself back in that same situation. Basically, we have a default. What's your default mode? That emotional home. What you practice will take you to a new default, and that's what we're looking for. The default as of now is the awareness that you have. Just be aware that you're overwhelmed. And that's where your mind takes you. That's where your feeling takes you. What we want to do is change the default to a better one. Every time you return to that calm, to a more centered state, your mind learns new pathways. And your nervous system starts to slow down and say, wait a second, I don't have to go there, I can go there. And that's amazing. And it's like walking in a snowstorm. You have one person walking, you have some steps. If you do it again, or a few people, until there is a path. That's how it works in our minds. The more often you visit it, the easier it is to live there. So, like I mentioned last week, don't wait until you're forced to do this exercise. You want to spend a few minutes a day becoming aware of that calm feeling. So you can imagine some overwhelmed situation. And instead of going to that emotional place, that emotional default mode, imagine that calm state and go there, feel it. If you practice during the day when it's not actually happening, then when it happens, you're used to it. But if you wait for the last minute, it's then your mind is not there, you're in fight and flight. And the subconscious, you're telling yourself, you're judging yourself, you're saying, oh, I should have done it. I'm not doing it right. It's not working. It's not for me. It's never going to work. I tried it 20 years. Whoa, 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 whoa. Take a deep breath. What you're feeling now is normal. Yes, it's normal. Just honor the feeling. And if you judge yourself, be aware of that. And only after you honor the feeling, you can slow down, take a deep breath. You can ask yourself, what's the state I do want to feel, and slowly go there. So the body memorizes the new state. Repetition is the secret. Do it again and again. But even before repetition, just being aware of it. And I would say even the first few weeks that you're aware, even if you're not taking it to a better place, just being aware, take a deep breath and say, then you're already on the right path. Just being aware of this feeling, and I don't want to feel this way. Take a deep breath, honor the feeling. Just stay there. And eventually, when you start changing, you're practicing and practice again and again. What happens is in the beginning, it might take you a few minutes just to stop, to think and say, what do I want to feel, until you go to that calm place. But eventually it takes you faster, goes faster. It could take you 60 seconds and eventually it takes 10 seconds. Wow, isn't that amazing? So let's do this exercise together. Try to see if we can return to our center. So let's get comfortable and I'm going to guide you. Take a deep breath, both feet on the floor, and just relax. You can close your eyes and just notice your current state. Where am I now? What am I feeling now? There's no right or wrong. Take a deep breath and just be aware of what you feel. Now recall a moment this week that you felt pulled out of alignment. Think back of any time this week that you felt whatever it was, overwhelmed, upset, angry, just out of alignment, not centered. Maybe that phone call, the kids, boss, job, whatever it is. Now let's take 3 deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Another one. Beautiful. Now bring up that word that you want, maybe calm, clarity, trust, the word that you want to use to help you feel grounded. And just try to feel that feeling. Feel it in your body. You're in a safe place now, so you can allow yourself to feel just relaxed, calm, and just see yourself in that state. Now, beautiful. So here you are. Okay, so you can share in the chat. Let me know what came up. First of all, what did it feel like? Just coming back to yourself to feel centered. And how can you remind yourself when these things do come up to bring yourself back to that centered state, that calm state? Beautiful. I'm too scattered to do it. No problem. That's awareness. Just being aware of the scattered mind. Honor it. Honor the feeling. Beautiful. Ruchas Nefesh, Emunah B'tachon. Amazing. Amazing. The T is the toughest part of the shift. Okay, that's an awareness. Just being aware of taking action is not easy, but again, don't judge. Just find yourself in that calmer state. And if you want, you can stay there. And eventually you'll see the action will be different. Because it all depends on the state we're in. We think by changing, we want to change the action, but for some reason it doesn't work. So that's why we're working on changing the state, the feeling. We want to find ourselves in a calm state so that we can take more a no conscious action. But again, practice. Feels like home, softer and peaceful, quiet. My word is bitachon. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Could you imagine? Anytime you feel out of alignment, you can always go back to B'tachon. Say, Hashem, you're here with me. Wow. I don't know why, but there must be a reason. Take a deep breath. And like I always say, first become aware of that initial reaction. It's like, and we don't like that. That's the, just be aware of that. You might feel angry, you might feel upset, and there's nothing wrong. I know many people, they want to work on the bitachon. Every time they feel that negative emotion, they think, oh, my bitachon is not working. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just hug yourself. Just be aware of that initial reaction. For whatever reason it is, this is what my body feels. This is what my body reacts. This is how it is. And I honor it. I can hold it. I can feel it with compassion and without judgment. And then I can think, wait a second. If I feel bitachon, if I want to connect to bitachon, what's the feeling that I want to feel? Just a quick question to everyone. When you think of bitachon, what's that feeling? What feeling comes up when you hear the word bitachon? Because for everyone, it's different. Security, relaxed, beautiful. Just be aware of. Not alone. Amazing, amazing. Safety, held, home. Wow. So if you can sit in that state and just feel it, embrace it, allow it, sit there. You can bring it on. You don't have to wait for those overwhelming times and start feeling it more often. That would be amazing. Okay. So that's it for tonight. I want to thank you all for coming. And again, if you have any area in your life where there's a place where you're trying and it's just not working, reach out. CoachMenachem@gmail.com. Let's talk. Like I said, I do offer a free session and you deserve it. Send me a message and let's talk. So thank you very much for joining. Thank yourself for taking some time off. Time that you deserve so that I can help you. And have a great night. And I'll see you next week, Wednesday night. Thank you, thank you, thank you.